One of the biggest things in a change, transformation that's always happening is we have to look at the underlying currents, the trends that are happening in the marketplace that are affecting our ability to be successful in how we're training our teams and how we're adopting those different challenges. And there's something that you and I called the trust recession that's happening right now. I wanted to throw out just a couple of stats. Like if any of us have looked at the most recent LinkedIn Edelman Trust Barometer, 32,000 respondents worldwide. Those 32,000 respondents, 61% of them said that they thought leaders in organizations like ours are being intentionally misleading. Intentionally misleading. A whole nother study talked about how B2B buyers, they think 74% of them think that the customer evidence that we're presenting to them, they can't rely on it. They can't trust it. And that's how we package the value that we present. This is an erosion of trust. And we know it. It's been well documented, the B2B self-service buyer's journey. They're waiting longer and longer to want to talk to us because they want to do their own due diligence in advance. How does this trust recession shape B2B decision making and the teams that you're bringing together in training? How does that impact what you're thinking and how you're approaching that?
What a deep question, Steve. It's really hard right now. Trust is an issue. And it's not only an issue in sales and marketing and client success. And when I have teams, or even I am in front of a client and really trying to bridge that gap between wanting to provide a solution to a challenge or a need they might have and, building that trust factor. Lack of trust is showing up in everything that touches us today. I don't think, you turn on the news and you're being asked not to believe what you see and not to believe what you hear. And it's just everywhere. I think AI also adds a layer to the uncertainty. Technology has made it so that in many respects, buyers are already coming to the market with a lot of information and knowledge. So in my industry, in particular, higher education, workforce development, and tech, it's a little bit unique because it's very much relationship driven, which I think in a lot of ways, you don't find that too often in other industries. Other industries sometimes can be a lot more transactional. And a college president or a university president, they really want to sit down across the table from one another and have open, honest conversations about their short and long-term planning. And as a sales executive or sales leader, you really need to be able to come as a thought leader and subject matter expert to bridge that gap. So I think when we look at, you know, how do we bridge the trust factor that's in business? You have to be very clear. Well, let me back up even one. You have to listen, because if you don't listen to what problem or challenge is trying to be solved for, and you're just thinking, how do I answer this really quickly just to move the sales forward? You're not going to be able to provide a thoughtful response to what their challenge or what goal they're trying to solve for. You have to provide clear, concise messaging. Everybody wants data and proof points, and they're going to take that immediately and go out to OpenAI or chat or whatever AI system they're using and immediately check to make sure that it's true. And you really need to build credibility at every single touch point. And I think this is fairly common knowledge. Sales and marketing right now is not at a single point of entry, especially when you're talking about selling into the mid-market and enterprise space. We need to build relationships from the top down. So from the top, the guy or gal that's ultimately going to sign that contract and chose the budget to say yes, but then also with the people that are going to implement and be your partners in the execution of whatever that contract says.